Hey everyone, welcome back to Sarah's Vegan Kitchen. I'm gonna do another what I eat in a day video today, and I've been getting a lot of requests to share more air fryer recipes. I guess everyone is curious to know how this strange and wondrous contraption works. So I'm gonna try and use my air fryer in a different way for every meal today. Also, have been traveling this past week. I just took a 36-hour train trip from Southern California all the way up the coast to Seattle, and I spent a couple days there with my mom and my grandma and my aunt, and it was fun, but admittedly, I have not been on top of my exercise or my diet or my hydration, so my body feels a little bit broken. Also sleep, I barely slept. So today I'm gonna try and be relatively healthy, stay very, very hydrated, get some probiotics in my tummy so that I can feel a little bit better. So of course, eating fresh greens is ideal, but whenever I need a little boost, I'll use a greens powder. So first thing in the morning, I shook this up with a little splash of apple cider vinegar. Yes, it was disgusting, but it has a lot of health benefits, so I just chugged it and got it over with. For breakfast, I made a tofu scramble with some air-fried potatoes. Air fryer is a really awesome tool for anyone who's into healthy cooking, oil-free cooking. Works a lot like a convection oven, so you can crisp things up without adding oil. And the one I have is by the Avalon Bay brand. I always have it linked in my description box when I use it. And I'm not familiar with any other brands, but this one at least is pretty straightforward, easy to use. It has some other pieces, but I usually just use the basket. I make fries and hash browns a lot, and now it takes me less than half the time than it did using an oven, and I don't have to wait to preheat the oven, and the results are basically the same, still super, super crispy. So here I'm just tossing some frozen cubed potatoes with spices, and I'm also making a few pieces of tempeh bacon. Lying everything flat in the basket of the air fryer, and I'm letting it cook for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Then in the meantime, I'm sauteing some veggies in water for my scramble. Then I'm crumbling in some firm tofu and adding in a pinch of turmeric. And I'm not sure if I've ever seen anyone cook arugula, but I was out of spinach, so I figured, what the heck, why not? Then by the time my scramble was done, my potatoes and my tempeh were nice and crispy, so I plated everything up with a bit of bread, and that was my breakfast. Afterwards, for a little bit of a pick-me-up, I made myself a matcha latte, and I have some of this chocolate-flavored matcha from the Matcha Reserve. It's so good. They have a lot of other flavors as well. I'll link them down below. And I added it to warm, unsweetened soy milk, and I frothed it up using my immersion blender. A little while later, I made a super simple lunch. I had some defrosted broccoli, some tofu that I had marinated for about 15 minutes in teriyaki sauce, and a frozen vegan spring roll. And I laid everything out in the air fryer basket and let it cook for 8 minutes at 400 degrees. I really like how tofu turns out in the air fryer. Since the air is circulating, you don't have to worry about flipping it, and it gets nice and golden brown on all sides. I've also been using the air fryer to reheat frozen food, like these spring rolls, and I used it with some frozen hash browns the other week, and with this Kung Pao cauliflower from Trader Joe's, and it usually only takes 5 to 8 minutes to get frozen food nice and crispy if it's small enough, so it's super fast, but it won't make things soggy like a microwave will. Then between lunch and dinner, I sipped on some of this lemon kombucha. I drank half and I saved the rest for the next day. Finally, for dinner, I made some breaded eggplant and pasta. So I set up a breading station with chickpea flour, soy milk, and rice panko crumbs. Did the usual. I've done this a lot on my channel. You just dredge your eggplant in flour, dip it in milk, and then into the breadcrumbs. I laid them out in my basket. I kept a little bit of space between them so that all of the sides get evenly crispy. 12 minutes, 400 degrees for the eggplant, and you can see how beautiful golden brown the breadcrumbs got without any added oil. And I served this with some of the black bean rotini from Trader Joe's that a couple of you recommended to me. It was very nice. More broccoli, some pre-made marinara sauce, and a little sprinkle of vegan mozzarella. Last thing I had was a little serving of this kimchi, and when I'm not feeling 100%, I always try to include more fermented foods, lots of green vegetables, drink a ton of water. So that's what I did on this day. I tried to eat relatively healthy, not super clean, but I did my best. So I hope you enjoyed seeing what I ate on this day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.